What's poppin', y'all? The heavily anticipated Kendrick Lamar first performance in, since his last tour, the first one since the beef with Drake, which he obliterated him out of the water. And there were a lot of different expectations coming into this. I didn't know what to expect. Some people thought, hey, Kendrick was going to bring out a lot of people, like Kendrick and Friends. Some people thought we were going to see some crazy songs performed. However, what ended up happening was, I wouldn't say out of the ordinary, but it makes sense looking back on it now. So the concert, it had a couple of different phases. You had DJ Head DJing, and it was on Juneteenth. It was Ken and Friends. I was surprised that we didn't see Baby Keem. I don't remember Baby Keem. So that one was a little bit surprising, especially since Baby Keem is legitimately family. And imagine hearing Family Ties out there. I really wonder why we didn't see him. Unless I missed it, because there were certain parts where I walked out, but I made sure to I was about to say zoom in. I made sure to rewind, and I still didn't see him or hear any of the songs. But we had a bunch of people like Remble, people like Westside Boogie. We even had people who I had no idea who they were, like RJMRLA. Like, I know that name, but I don't know who that person is. 310 Baby, I don't know who that is. Blast, of course, I knew who that was. One thing that I really liked was when he brought Dom Kennedy out. Tyler, the Creator, coming out was, I wouldn't say a bit of a shock, but it was a cool thing to see. Overall, I like that Kendrick maneuvered this to not be about Drake, because that's what everybody expected. I was sitting there thinking, I was just thinking logically, right? Okay, he might bring out Travis Scott for Goosebumps, because we know that Travis Scott apparently doesn't mess with Drake now. Travis Scott was urging them to play Like That to Metro Boomin, I think at the last Rolling Loud before Like That actually released. I was like, okay, maybe he's going to have Travis Scott come out here, perform Goosebumps. That's one of Kendrick Lamar's biggest songs ever that he was on. That didn't end up happening. I was even thinking of even crazier stuff. What if Kendrick Lamar brings out Rihanna to perform Loyalty? We would have gone crazy, right? Rihanna, one of Drake's obsessions in the early days of his career, and then come to find out Kendrick brings her out to perform their song together at the pop out. I know Drake would have been sick from that. Even though, obviously he's been over Rihanna, I don't really think he cares too much. But just the way that looks is different. However, that didn't end up happening. Future didn't even come out for the set for Like That to perform his part. And I think this was intentional. I don't think it's these people who didn't want to show up. I think Kendrick Lamar may not have invited them. And he just wanted to take the attention that he got from this. And I wouldn't say grandstand is not the proper word here. He wanted to turn it into a positive thing. Like, hey, this is Juneteenth. This is us. This is about the West Coast. This is about LA in particular. So I'm going to use this opportunity and channel all this attention that we have on us and not make it about this other guy. Sure, people are going to want me to perform the songs that I did about him, and these are banger songs. So he did perform that, and I ended up doing a lot like us, like 5 times, 6 times. I think it was 5 in total. And that's what people want to hear. That's the hit of the summer, one of the biggest hits this year in hip-hop, both culturally and commercially. So he did that and shined a light on all these other people. There are a ton of people that listen to Not Like Us and tuned into this that don't care about the majority of music going on in LA. It's a very regional place. I mean, he even brought out OGZ, which I thought was pretty cool to see. Like, for example, Shoreline Mafia, right? OGZ and them. These guys, even when they were hot, they were coastally hot. West Coast. Maybe go out to Arizona, Vegas. But past Colorado, you get to Texas, Florida. I mean, obviously, we're getting pretty far now. Midwest, Northeast. People weren't really listening to Shoreline Mafia like that, but they had a lot of success as a regional act because, just being popping in LA is enough to have a successful career financially. Just being popping in California, bro, it's one of the biggest economies in the world. So that's why a lot of these regional artists, they kind of just stay in their region. Plus, the sound is a bit hard to get accustomed to if you're not used to it. But Not Like Us, it kind of has that West Coast sound. So what better than to put on all these West Coast people? And you got to also think about it like this. Kendrick Lamar having the biggest moment of his entire career. And what does he decide to do? Bring out all of these younger, some new, some a little bit older LA acts. People are already fond of Kendrick Lamar. There isn't much to hate about him. But think about what level of appreciation they're going to have for him now that, yo, you used your biggest moment and gave us a platform to perform and show out for these people. Because it wasn't just the people that were at the event. This was live streamed on Amazon Prime and on Twitch. I think just the numbers on Twitch total, if you count the people viewing it from like a second source, like someone streaming themselves watching it, it was over 250,000. And if you take the Prime video component, like on Amazon Prime, we don't know. We won't get the numbers for that. But it was a lot of people watching and a bunch of people talking about it. And then on social media, I don't think anybody that showed out here can be portrayed as hating on Drake or what's the word, betraying Drake. Like LeBron was out there, Bronny was out there. Everybody, LA was out there. You had Russell Westbrook, you had NBA players. One of the more important things that Kendrick Lamar was saying was about how he wanted this to unite people. They hadn't been this united since Nipsey passed away, talking about, you know, different gangs and stuff like that that were showing up to the same building and managed to keep things civil. Thank God. It would have been a nightmare if somebody had gotten hurt after the show, which was my concern. Like, please don't let this spill out and make Kendrick Lamar look good. So Kendrick Lamar got all these people to act properly. It was a beautiful thing all in all. I didn't have any expectation, but it wasn't as grand as I think Kendrick Lamar could have made it. But I think it definitely did the job, and it makes you hold Kendrick Lamar in higher esteem, which seems to be what he's always been trying to do. There was no announcement either from Kendrick Lamar for anything new, whether that be a new tour, whether that be a new album, whether that be an EP, whether that be new music. We got none of that. We were spoiled with Kendrick Lamar music. We got 4 songs in the span of less than 2 weeks. That's more than we usually get from Kendrick Lamar. And we had like that. So I don't think Kendrick Lamar is pressed to drop any music when he's got 2 hits circulating right now. Euphoria, it's more of course it charted, but I think it's slowly going to keep going down the charts. It's not a smash, but it's one of those sleeper hits, kind of like Goosebumps, where it's just going to keep getting streamed by people over and over, maybe not at such a high rate to be on the Hot 100 like these other songs, but it's just going to have a ton of streams over time, in the same way that Goosebumps did before the remix was made and they re-released it and all of that. So I enjoyed this. Biggest mystery to me was, where was Baby Keem? I found that really odd, especially because I wouldn't say the first time things kicked off, but it was on a Kendrick Lamar verse on a Baby Keem song where we first heard, like, I'm smoking on top 5, right? That would have been a crazy moment. Snoop Dogg not showing up was perplexing to me. Dre, huge moment. Dre has been in Kendrick's corner and working with Kendrick Lamar since very, very early in his career, like 2012, 13, I think. So that's just West Coast right there. And just goes to show the legacy of Dr. Dre. I did a whole video on it on the main channel where we talk about how Dre kind of hasn't missed when it comes to signing acts. Sure, there are some people that don't release music, but the people that Dre has committed to and released music with at least an album or 2, they're all successful, if not legends. So yeah, Aftermath got a good track record. But let me know what you thought about this whole thing. Like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for watching. Peace.